Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. So before I start, make sure that if you're enjoying these power thoughts, that you sign up for my list where you get one in your inbox every day. I will post the link below to sign up. So today's power thought is I can do anything I set my mind to. And I know this is a tough one for some people because we really get caught up in that cycle of I can't do it. And it kind of feels easier, right? If you feel like, oh, I can't do it anyways, right? Because it allows you to not try and then to not fail. A lot of us have a fear of failure, right? So sometimes it's easier not to try. And this all goes on at a very deep unconscious level sometimes. We don't even realizing that we're sabotaging ourselves because it feels a little bit safer, right? And what I say to my clients all the time is it's not failure, it's just feedback. So you do something, it doesn't work. Okay, let's try something different, right? So another part of that belief of I can do anything I set my mind to is the focusing on what I want. And I say this with my clients all the time, right? We find it so easy to go into that place of focusing on what we don't want, right? Oh, I hope that I don't lose my job. I hope it's not raining today, right? We think that way all the time. But when we reframe that to a positive, what do I want? We all know what we don't want, but when we have to make that shift to what we do want, it's sometimes a little bit scary, right? Well, I don't want to be broke, right? Of course. What do you want? That kind of forces you to shift your thoughts to some scary things like, well, if I want to be wealthy or have abundant and have flow in my life, financially and otherwise, what do I want? What do I need to create here? And that is the step that sometimes is a little bit scary. And then people are like, oh, no, okay, I'm going to go back down here, focus on what I don't want, right? So your brain is so powerful, as we know, and it will create what you spend the most time thinking about, right? So if you spend the most time in lack and thinking about, I can't do this and blah, 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 then it's going to bring more of that, right? It just does. So when you focus on what you want and you have a belief, I can do anything I set my mind to, it can be really powerful. And when things don't work out, it doesn't mean that you can't do anything you set your mind to. It might just means that you might need to go about it in a different way. Okay. So it's not failure, it's just feedback. It's just, things being like, okay, I tried this angle, that didn't work. I can still do anything I set my mind to. Now I'm going to take a different route there. That's all that means. Okay. So, what I like to do is write down all the things I want, right? All the things I want to create. You can call them goals, you can call them whatever you want to do. Sometimes people don't like calling them goals, it can be a little daunting. And then think about the little steps you need to take to make those goals happen every day. And when you start to break it down, it becomes more manageable and more doable. And then if you can look at the little goal, then and you can set your mind to do that and accomplish that, then it gives your brain evidence that you can create success, right? So just break that down. And another thing is that I want you to make sure that when you think about what you want to create and set your mind to things and setting goals, that you want to make sure they're based in pleasure and not in pain, right? And of course, people are like, well, of course they're based in pleasure because they're things that I want. But sometimes, so the only things that motivate us are pain or pleasure, right? So we're either moving away from pain, but we get to a place and we're like, oh, no, there's no more pain. Whew, right? I've lost that 20 pounds. Now I'm good and I can eat whatever I want. Or we're moving toward pleasure, which is limitless, right? So having the goal of creating wealth can feel like you're moving away from pain because you don't want to be poor and you're afraid to, lose what you have, or it can feel limitless and be pleasure based because you're moving toward a life of abundance and you can help people and it just feels amazing. Okay. So when you're setting those goals or, thinking about what you want to create, make sure that they're based in pleasure and not fear. And, kind of pick that apart and figure out where that's coming from so you can create that pleasure feeling when you're setting that out. So what you want to do when you really want to implement that belief of I can do anything I set my mind to is focus on what you want. Make sure that everything is based in pleasure and feeling good. And there's no such thing as failure, right? It doesn't matter. And if you try something and it doesn't work, you're still the same person you were before, right? It just means you tried something and cool, it didn't work out. Let's figure out another way. All right. So today I can do anything I set my mind to is your mantra for the day. And I'll see you tomorrow.